Elphinstone, and we have Director John Henderson from Seashell all online with us tonight. On the staff side, in addition to myself, we're joined by Lana Smith, our Manager of Financial Planning, Kyle Doyle, our Manager of Asset Management, in the background, making sure that this all works tonight as long as we don't actually lose power all the way, is Bryce Vatanen, our Business Systems Coordinator. And with that, I will turn this over to Lana Smith to start the presentation. And thanks so much, Lana.
Thanks, Dean. Can hear me. So thank you for joining us for the SCRD budget presentation for 2023. Tonight, we'll provide an overview of the SCRD round 1 budget, provide information on the utility rates for 2023, taxation information ahead of round 2, and provide an opportunity to ask questions about proposed projects and the budget. Moving ahead to the budget timeline. So in December 2022, we started with pre-budget. Sorry, I can see my machine's a little slow tonight, so I'll repeat myself. Starting in December of 2022, we started with pre-budget, where we presented proposed initiatives and a preliminary taxation ahead of the budget process. In round 1, that's where the full budget proposals came forward and decisions started to be made. Now we're in the community presentations and information sessions section, and coming up on March 2nd, we will have round 2 of the budget deliberations, with the final budget scheduled to be adopted on March 23rd. So what is impacting this year's budget? We have 176 projects that have been carried forward from 2022 and 90 new projects that are being considered in 2023. We have over $5.3 million in new water projects for the regional water system. We have some additional resourcing that's needed to support and complete the 260 plus projects and initiatives, and increased costs for ongoing operations and maintenance. What's costing us more? Construction costs. We're seeing increases in labor, materials, and transport. Operating costs, increase in insurance, fuel, and maintenance. We're seeing an increased volume of green waste and the associated disposal and transport costs. And we're seeing increases in regular maintenance and regulatory compliance costs associated with our assets. In 2023, some of the highlights of our new proposed projects and initiatives are an investment in our cybersecurity resources, to continue to provide cemetery services to the residents of the Sunshine Coast. Further development of Seaview Cemetery is required immediately, as well as over the next 5 years. Transit service, with a service expansion and increased costs, requires a base budget increase of $570,000. The next phase of the Eastbourne Water Supply Expansion Project will cost $1.2 million. Replacement of the ultraviolet system at the Chapman Water Treatment Plant will cost $1.9 million. And we have ongoing maintenance and upgrades for our solid waste facilities. The SCRD provides funding to a number of community partners and stakeholders right across the Sunshine Coast. In 2023, it's $1.9 million. Our preliminary operating budget after round 1 is $57 million. This is up over $5 million from 2022. The largest contributors to the operating budget are water and wastewater, followed by Recreation and Cultural Services, which includes all 5 of our community recreation facilities, Dakota Ridge, and the library and museums that we contribute to. Number 3 would be Environmental, which includes solid waste. And number 4 is Transit. Our capital budget after round 1 is $45 million. Again, this is not all new costs. This includes carry forwards from prior years, as some large projects can span multiple years. The capital budget is up over $3 million from 2022. And the largest contributor is water and wastewater, followed by recreation and cultural services. In terms of property assessments on the Sunshine Coast, 2023 saw an average increase of 11.37%. 0.87% of that was due to non-market changes, which is generally associated with growth, and 10.5% is due to increased market conditions. Looking at where your tax dollars go, Area A is quite different to other areas within the SCRD. They have many different services and service areas, so it's important to remember when you look at these that you only pay for the services you receive. Area A's proposed taxation based on $100,000 of assessed value. The figures below reflect a household that would participate in every service the SCRD offered. We're seeing an increase in Area A of $5.76 per $100,000. It's important to note that the SCRD amount is a percentage and not all of your tax bill. Area B, similar breakdown to where your tax dollars go. And moving to the $100,000 per assessed value, we can see that this Area B has dropped by $5.73 per $100,000. This is due to a one-time cost in 2022 for the fire hall development design that was $250,000. Moving to Area D, this is a breakdown of where your tax dollars go. Again, one of the largest contributors is recreation and cultural services. To the $100,000 in Area D, taxation per $100,000 in Area D, the increase is up $6.54. The 3 largest contributors to that increase are solid waste, rural planning, and community parks. Area D also had the highest average assessed values on homes. Area E, breakdown of where the tax dollars go. Recreation and cultural services being the largest user. And this is a similar story on the $100,000 basis, with the increase of the $7.31 being largely driven by solid waste, rural planning, community parks, and some additional street light costs. In Area F, there is a larger transportation services breakdown. This is because in Area F, that includes port services. Looking at the tax per $100,000 in Area F, there's an increase of $4.62. In the Shishal Nation Government District, you can see that recreation and cultural services also makes up a large portion of where your tax dollars go. On the tax per $100,000 basis, the increase of $3.02 here is largely driven by the solid waste cost increase. Moving to the town of Gibson's. Breakdown of where the tax dollars go again, with recreation and cultural services being the largest one, followed by protective services. When we look at the taxation per $100,000 of assessed value, there is a drop in the town of Gibson's as well of $1.10. Partly, this is due to higher budgeted spending for the Gibson's Fire Department in 2022 due to some one-time projects. Moving to the District of Sechelt. Similar breakdown of where the tax dollars go here. And on the per $100,000 of assessed value, the district is up $2.45, with solid waste cost increases being the largest contributor to that. On the next slide, we'll see the water rates. User rates in regional water per household on a flat rate basis are of $124.57. Parcel tax rates up $83.72. User rates largely are spent on operating costs, where parcel tax rates are largely spent on capital expenses. These water utility rates were approved by the board on December 15th. The largest contributors to the capital costs are the Chapman UV upgrade, the Eastbourne groundwater supply expansion, and the dam safety upgrades at Chapman and Edwards Lake. When we look at garbage, food waste, and recreation, recreation is down slightly over last year. We are seeing an increase in the garbage and food waste collection cost of $9.68. That is for areas B, D, E, and F only. Looking at our wastewater rates, over 15 collective wastewater facilities, user fee rate increases have ranged from 0% at 5 of the plants to a high of 63%, whereas frontage fees increases have ranged from 2% to 66%. So what's next? Our information sessions. We are headed into round 2 of our budget deliberations on March 2nd, with final budget adoption scheduled for March 23rd. And that's the end of my presentation. I'd like to open the floor to questions.
Thank you very much for that, Lana. And thank you for the presentation. We do at this time have 2 questions in the chat, both from an anonymous attendee. And I'm happy to tackle these questions. And I'd also suggest if there's any directors that would like to add anything to these questions, please feel free. The first question is around potential staff additions in this year's budget. And the question from the anonymous attendee is that staff are a significant component of operational cost. The FCRD has seen growth in staffing levels over the last several years, with more than a dozen new positions proposed in this year's budget. Has there been, or are there plans for, an organizational review by outside consultants to ensure staff are being utilized efficiently? And I'm happy to take this one on, and any directors that want to add to this, please feel free, and I'll try to do my best to recognize folks' hands on the screen. I would say that yes, in fact, at round 1, one of the projects that was presented to the board for consideration and was moved forward for incorporation into round 2 was an organizational review, looking at opportunities to make sure that with the incredible amount of work we're taking on, the incredible amount of projects, everything, that there's the right amount of staff in the right locations with the correct amount of support to be able to move those through on an efficient basis. So that is definitely one project that we believe is moving forward, subject to the ultimate approval. If any other board members wanted to chime in on that one before I move to the next one, please feel free to do so. Okay, I don't see anything. The next one from an anonymous attendee was, question is, when will funding for Scredo be discussed? And Scredo is the Sunshine Coast Regional Economic Development Organization. That is a interesting question because they will be coming, my understanding is to the board next Thursday as a delegation. Will they be talking about what they've done over the past couple of years and what their plans are for the upcoming year. And the board will be considering all of that as part of their deliberations in round 2. Was there anyone that wanted to add anything to that question that we received? Okay. See anything there?
There's Donna.
Oh, Donna, sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to mention, I believe we have a contract with Scrio for 5 years, which is for a fixed amount. And so it doesn't sort of come up as an unusual budget item, but as CAO McKinley said, they are coming to us as a delegation to tell us more about what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Director McMahon. I don't see any additional questions right now in the Q&A. I don't see any in the chat. I see that we do have a couple of attendees with us, and I'm not sure if they have any questions. They could either enter them into the Q&A or enter them into the chat. And while we're waiting for that, because you never know how many questions you're actually going to get, are there any comments that any of the board members may have that they'd wish to make? And there's no, this is not trying to put you on the spot, just around your reflections on the 2023 budget this year. See how easy this gets to be? All
Yeah,
right, then.
if you
Go
had
ahead.
warned me, I might have been prepared. Just saying.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, didn't,
I missed what you said there, Donna. My apologies.
Yeah, I just saying if you'd warned me to prepare a small statement about the budget, I would have been happy to do so. But it's 6 o'clock at night, and according to the BC Hydro outage map, there's more than 3,000 customers without power this evening. So
Yes, it's a challenging evening for sure. Well, I don't see any other questions in the chat. There's no additional questions in the Q&A. And so if there's no additional questions, this will be saved on YouTube. I think we look forward to seeing as many people as want to engage with us and show up for the discussion at round 2. And if no one has anything else to add, I will thank all of our directors for their participation tonight. Thank you to Lana, to Kyle in the background, Bryce, thank you so much. Everyone have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you at round 2. Have a good night, everybody.